a knowledgeable man when it comes to comics. He's also a very good artist. You may have seen some of the lovely artwork for these nights. It's all down to him. He thinks of it all himself, and he draws it all himself, and asks nothing of anyone except money. Except money for doing it, you know, which is great because that's how, you know, creative people need to live, don't they? They need to eat. So you should pay him. What I'm getting at is, I'm poor. I'm poor, he's poor, we're all poor. That's why we're here. It's a free night.
Pay him in laughter.
Pay him in laughter.
Oh yeah.
Now, let's fill up his laughter bank. Please welcome to the stage the wonderful, the fantastic Antonas! Yeah!
Give me a second, guys. I want to look as if I'm, you know, relatable but confident. Good evening. So nice to see all of you here. You lovely, lovely, beautiful young people. If not in body, then in spirit, because I can't think of anything more rejuvenating than good laughter. And it's good being young, right? It's really a good time of your life, because you get to explore things and experiment. You can try out new things, you can make mistakes, you can fail miserably and start from scratch. You get to see what world and people has to offer, and, you know, with a bit of luck, you grow up, you mature, and the time comes to commit. For some, commit a suicide. And I hear what you're thinking, because, like, oh, Anson, that is terrible, you are horrible. Yeah, I am. But that's the only thing I'm consistently good at, so I will continue. Now, for others, committing means, you know, choosing something to stand for, something to fight for, choosing a path and sticking to it. And that's why I think Wonder Woman and Black Panther are such interesting characters. And as my colleague pointed out, you might think, and I hear what you're thinking, because I do hear voices. I might wonder, should I guess with my GP? But anyway, I know what you're thinking. Am I equipped to make a judgment? Because, you know, I'm a white, Caucasian male. I have the best chance in the world to get the best job ever, and simultaneously being labeled a dick. I will not be passing a judgment here. I will talk about Wonder Woman, and I'll ask you to make a judgment. So, let's begin. Who is Wonder Woman? Well, Wonder Woman, she is, first of all, spoilers, a woman. Her name is Diana, and she's a princess of superhumans called Amazons. She's also a demigoddess, or half-goddess, because her mom had sex with Zeus, you know, Greek god, big bulky guy. And let me tell you this lady kicks ass, because she can fly half the speed of light, she can talk to animals, she can punch through the wall, she can lift a tank, and for me that's jaw-dropping, because in my reality, and hopefully yours, humans have clearly defined boundaries of what we're capable of. There are things we cannot do, and things we cannot do simultaneously. Like, you know, you can't sneeze and keep your eyes open, you can't pee and ejaculate, and, you know, you can't think and vote conservatives. It's just unthinkable. That is why Wonder Woman is truly wondrous and wonderful. And I'm using this word in a very strict fashion because I know that people are sort of, like they tend to use this words like amazing and awesome way too loosely. You know, oh, it's a miracle, it's amazing. It's a miracle, the baby was born. It's a miracle the baby wasn't strangled in the crib, because babies are dicks. If any of you here are young parents or, you know, caregivers, here's a word of advice. Take a toddler, give him a lollipop, and put him on a treadmill. I promise you, every single moment you keep that child on a treadmill increases your chances of becoming happier exponentially. Do try. So, you now know where she's coming from, and let's talk about what does she do with all that godliness and royalness. Well, she leaves Amazons, she leaves her people, and she travels into the world to save us from, you know, all the evils. And despite her being an amazing strategist, an amazing warrior, and smart person in general, the most fundamental qualities that she has are compassion and conscience. Those are the only two things that no one ever changed since the beginning, for the last 6 decades. And, you know, she's a peace fighter, she is a pacifist, and that's admirable. Because, you know, she's the kind of person that inspires you to be better, the kind of person you want to become. And it reminds me of a story, because I recently met a person, super smart, super funny, charming, huge on social media, has all that stuff, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I had to start following him home. I don't know much about him yet, but I can tell you one thing for sure. Hair smells amazing. Okay, enough with awkwardness. Let's continue. So now you know that she's a superhuman and she has all that power. And what does she do with it? Well, she fights villains. And the gallery of her villains is really impressive because she gets to fight cyborgs, warlocks, corporate bankers, misogynists, Nazis, and dictators. Speaking of dictators, I just noticed that in dictatorships, it's much more likely to see things powered by raw human power as opposed to any other source of energy. Have you ever wondered why? Why is it more likely to see a human-drawn carriage than a horse-drawn carriage? I think it's because, unlike humans, horses cannot be sustained purely by propaganda. And that's why Wonder Woman is fighting these people, to give a chance to the underdog. Now, a little piece of trivia, and maybe somebody's going to mention this, I don't know. Do you know Batman? Big, bulky guy, wears spandex? Black spandex, no? Cries about his parents. Yeah, he has a contingency plan for every single superhero out there. Ooh, sorry. I stole the joke. He has a contingency plan for every single superhero in case that superhero becomes rogue. Except for Wonder Woman. She's indestructible. She really is indestructible. It's really difficult to fight her. And I think that any villain who wants to fight her should think twice about, opposing her. And basically what Wonder Woman makes you think is that crime doesn't pay. You know what pays? Giving blowjobs to truckers. And you might say it's dangerous. I say it's labor intensive. Ooh, I know what you're gonna say. Oh, that's just cringeworthy, right? Because there are things that are they're not just welcome in certain situations. You're not supposed to say certain things or do certain things. Like it's not polite asking a woman how old she is, right? It's not polite laughing at a funeral, and it's definitely not polite saying, "You look goddamn sexy tonight" during autopsy. But this is a comedy show. So we're gonna carry on. What am I trying to say here? It's really difficult to condense 60 years of a character into a cohesive, sentence or paragraph, and that's why it's much more valuable, I guess, to look at the broader picture. What Wonder Woman has done to the popular culture and to the mentality overall. And let's look at her history, because Wonder Woman was based initially on early feminists, and she was also partially inspired by Margaret Sanger. Who doesn't know? That's a woman who pioneered birth control, and she was fighting for female reproductive rights, and she was also an early sex educator.
Oh, we've got an objection!
Continue.
He's objecting.
No, how could you, backstabber?
Actually, he was largely based on the creator's wife, and some very deeply scary misogynist feelings that he had. I'll expand on this later, but add a pinch of salt.
Among other things. Ooh. Okay. I think it'd be much useful not to discuss how both characters were inspired by institutionalized misogyny and racism, and just focus on the core qualities. Thank you very much, sir. May I continue now? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Wonder Woman is a pacifist, feminist, and a LGBTQ icon. She fights for the underdog. She was born into privilege, but she fights for the underprivileged. And we all know what privilege is because we all live in London. You all see these assholes building loft extensions for themselves. And at some point you have to ask yourself, how much fucking space do you need? But where am I supposed to keep all my trick trophies? I don't know. Have you tried your ass? It seems to fit perfectly all of your entitlement ideas. I'm sure it can space some space. Some room. Sorry, I'm really angry sometimes. I'm gonna wrap up. Sorry. So what I'm trying to say here is that Wonder Woman is an amazing character, and I really would love you to vote for her because I'm a sore loser. But if you don't, actually, it doesn't matter. You can vote for Black Panther. You know what really matters? What matters is all of you guys here. You took out time out of your busy schedule, and you came here to spend 3 or 4 hours traveling and sitting and listening to this, and then going back home. Even though this comedy show will not have any significant influence on your life. I'm sorry, Mikey. I'm sorry.
No, I'm switching teams now.
Oh, just wait for the build-up. What does matter? Ladies and gentlemen. Are we all done here? I'm trying to send a positive message here. Focus! Focus, goddammit! Thank you. What I'm trying to say is that I think you should use your privilege, emphasis on privilege, and you should commit, emphasis on commit, to unfucking this country and voting on 8th of June. So, because for some it's just general election, but for others it might be general eviction. So, thank you very much. Vote Wonder Woman.